Good evening or good morning whenever this video happens to find you. Um, my next video that I wanted to cover was raw and uh, what people call Rule Zero, also known as the Rule of Cool. And people people kind of want me to talk about this, although I feel like my position is probably known by now by simply checking my materials, but it never hurts to, you know, I guess have it all in one place. So let's define some definitions here. What is RAW? Well, RAW stands for rules as written. It's when a GM decides that they're going to try to keep the rules as as close to what the book says as possible. This adds a level of not only verisimilitude, but also fairness in play, and it also kind of, lends some laws to your universe. After all, you should know kind of how your magic system works. You should know how deadly gravity is. Just as a few examples. Rule zero, on the other hand, is kind of also interpreted as the GM is always right. Um, but it's also supplemented as a rule of cool. Basically, you know, GMs bringing stuff into their games to try to add a level of play to it that maybe the core rules don't support. In its most extreme circumstance, which I've seen very little of this, um, I think this particular group is so in the minority that they're non-existent. But people throwing raw at the window altogether and just going on the fly. So I don't think anybody plays those games really. Um, I've seen horror stories on the internet, but I am inclined to believe that those are false and people just trying to create a story that is sensationalized for people to read. So, which do I run? I run a mixture of both. Um, for example, I think that you can run rule of cool or rules as written basically as close to raw. Uh, you can run rule zero as close to raw as possible if you say are doing it to add a level of nuance to your game, such as the rule cyclopedia, for example, brings in weapon proficiency. Some people like to put that in their game. I personally don't, to some extent, but I've thought about it. Um, I like to use disease tables. I borrow heavily from Dave Arneson's Blackmore for my games. Um, just those are just some very small examples. Something that's not in the core rules, but will not exactly take away from Raw. Raw is kind of fragile in that it's like a Jenga tower. You take one block out, the whole thing falls over. And um, if the rules fall apart, well, then so will your game. Understand that this is not exactly a very long video, and really, I probably added nothing to the discussion whatsoever. But I figured I'd put out a video and you know, kind of make my 2 cents known, I guess, because some people, for whatever reason, kind of value my opinion. As always, guys, take care. God bless. See you on the other side. Thank you for tuning in. Um, and yeah, uh, hope your games are good. And don't sweat it for real. Just play.